Hello there, beautiful soul. Thank you so much for joining me. This is going to be your full moon reading for Cancer. Full moon is going to be July 16th, 17th, and this is going to be a reading for about that time period up until the next full moon, which should be around August 1st. So that's what we're going to do today. And if you're new here, my name is Melissa, and I do zodiac readings on around the new moon and then the full moon. And I also do a video every Monday. We call that Metaphysical Monday. We talk about crystals and smudging and meditation and other woo-woo stuff. So if you're interested in that, the description box will have a link to the Metaphysical Monday playlist. So let's get right to it. So the full moon is the peak of the cycle. So we're going to be talking about what you're manifesting right now. And also it is the period of time between the full moon and the next new moon is a period of release. So what do we need to release in order to start over fresh in the next new moon? So let's take a look at what's going on for Cancer. I'm going to shuffle here. All right. Cancer, we have the Eight of Swords, the Six of Cups, right? And then the Knight of Swords. Okay, a couple of swords going on. This is your current state around the new moon, or full moon, sorry. So we have the Eight of Swords is kind of like feeling a little prisoned by your thoughts, not really knowing, not really wanting to acknowledge some stuff is what I get from that. Then we have the Six of Cups, kind of nostalgic, looking back. She's got a picture. It's like she doesn't seem upset. It's just kind of looking back fondly at some memories, maybe being a little bit I want to say nostalgic. This deck, this is the Dark Mansion deck. I get a lot of nostalgia vibes from it, so I'm probably gonna say that a lot, but it's really just kind of like looking back fondly, taking time to remember somebody that you maybe miss, but in a positive way, in a way where you can look lovingly at them, not in a I'm sad and distraught kind of way, if that makes sense. And then we have the Knight of Swords, so we have some kind of movement going on here. He's just like on the run, like, let's go. Right? It's like, let's go. We're getting out of here. Maybe not getting out of here, maybe coming in here. We'll feel what that comes up as with the rest of the cards. But for right now, I feel like you're kind of, there's something that you're kind of looking back on, but you're not wanting to acknowledge something about that. But you do want to move on from it. But I feel like moving on from it is being a little bit difficult right now because you're refusing to acknowledge something. Okay, like she's got her eyes are covered, her hands are behind her back. We don't know that they're tied necessarily, but like the swords are holding her dress down. It's stopping her from moving. But if she would just reach her hand up and move that out of her way, she'd be able to see what the problem is and see that there's just a couple of swords stuck in her dress and that she could pull them out whenever she wants. But she's not moving that off of her face in a way that allows her to see the complete situation. So I feel like there's something from the past that you want to move on from. It doesn't look negative at all to me. It looks like something that you kind of, maybe you're feeling stuck in that emotion from the past, right? Like that you're keeping yourself stuck in this this wanting to relive the good times, the good old days. Just keep wanting to resurface for you, and you're kind of putting on a blinder to what's really going on, and the fact that you need to move on from this. Perfect for our full moon theme here, right? So this is moving on. I feel like this is moving on from something. It's not something negative in your past or in your current. It's currently you're looking back at some stuff that you miss, that you would like to relive, and but you're missing a piece of release that you need to learn from this situation. So I feel like releasing something that, there's nothing wrong with looking back at good times and remembering them fondly. It's when you get yourself kind of stuck. See how she's stuck? It's when you get yourself stuck in that pattern that keeps you from moving forward. So I feel like that's our current energy for Cancer. It's just kind of stuck reliving the past, wanting to move on, but not really being able to do that. So let's see what we can do to release during this full moon. What can Cancer do to help release? Five of Pentacles, Temperance, okay, and the Tower. Okay, so in order for Cancer to release something, I mean, this is super clear to me here. There's a lot of details though. So in order for Cancer to move forward, the first card that came out was the Five of Pentacles. So Five of Pentacles is really like being left out in the cold, shunned kind of is the word that is popping up for me. Feeling shunned, feeling cast aside. But we also have the Tower, which to me is not always bad. The Tower is breaking down some old patterns, old habits, breaking them down so that you can build a new. And then we have Temperance, good old Temperance, balance, keeping the balance of things. So I feel like moving on is not going to be easy for you. We have the Tower and the Five of Pence is totally not fun times, right? So it's really going to be difficult to move forward and release this past that you keep wanting to relive. And there's again nothing wrong with looking back and remembering the good old days, but we really have to work on the releasing part. We really need to break down this Tower so that you can build a new one using some balance. I feel like whatever this was that you're missing right now, that you're focusing on too much and trying to bring up those feelings for yourself again, whatever that was not built on a solid foundation. I feel like the foundation was a little bit, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for here. The foundation was a little unstable, but I feel like balancing, you want to build something new with a more balanced, solid foundation, right? You don't want to feel left out in the cold because your Tower has fallen. You want to recognize that Tower was built on sand, and big old snowstorm right here came over and totally wiped out your sandcastle, right? Your Tower. So knowing that moving forward is going to be key. We need to recognize that is what has happened. We had a wishy-washy foundation, and then one swift breeze can kind of take that down for you, and I feel like that might be what happened. And that you had good times in this Tower. You had good times. There's some things that you want to remember, but having that knowledge that the foundation was not what it needed to be will help you gain some balance, and knowing what can go wrong versus what can go right, and how to navigate and kind of combine the knowledge of what won't work with what will work. And that's where you can get that balance from. That balance of knowing, okay, this didn't work, let's try something else. This has worked for me in the past. Let's knowing those two things will help rebuild whatever this Tower is coming down to make room for. So I feel like these cards, the Tower and the Five of Pentacles, kind of get a bad rap. They're so negative. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, but it's necessary. And when you have the balance, we have love again. We have comfort. We have a nice solid foundation. She's very happy, and who is she pouring that for? Is there somebody that she is going to be sharing that with? I mean, we have the lilies and the lotus on the bottom. You got to have that mud, right, in order to grow that beautiful flower. So let's see what else the cards have for Cancer. Let's get some advice on how can we get through this, and how can we rebuild? How can Cancer rebuild? Okay, Seven of Swords. Judgment. We have a couple of good majors out here. And the Eight of Pentacles. Okay. All right. First card up, Seven of Swords. So deceit. Something kind of sneaky is going on here. This might be you having to disappear in the middle of the night. You know, if this is a situation that you are still in and you want to walk away from, you may have to be kind of sneaky about it, right? But this could also be somebody else that's been sneaky with you. But I don't see that in any of the other cards. I really don't feel that. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, Eight of Pentacles, working hard. Let's focus. There we go. That's not a message, but it could be. Let's focus. Focusing on working hard. You're doing the thing, right? Like, this is building something great and working hard at it, and he's following these plans right here. See, he's got a plan of action and he's following through with it, and he's going to see it to the end. And yes, he's hard at work and he's doing his thing. So pulling the plans out of this, and seeing also that kind of disappearing act in the middle of the night is what I'm hearing, is kind of leaning me toward feeling like there's a plan that you need to follow. If you have already made a plan, then you need to stick to that plan. If you don't have a plan and there is something that needs to be accomplished here, which I'm feeling for most of you, there's something that you are trying to walk away from. For some of you, I also feel there's something that you either walked away from or somebody walked away from you in the past, and that's why you're kind of looking back, like, what went wrong? Where did this fall apart? I miss this. I feel like some of you, that's the case. But then we also have the Judgment card. Okay, Judgment card is, you know, like those pearly gates. It's the, you know, I'm trying to verbalize a visualization. Oh boy, I'm blurry. It's being called. It's okay. So these are all dead people. Let's just go there. Okay, so these are all dead people, spirits. I hate that my glasses reflect so much. And then in the background, we have this angel right here blowing a horn, right? She's got the saxophone and she's playing music, and they're all just dancing to it. It's really just, it's really kind of being ready for something to be over and celebrating the culmination of events, right? It's really, in this card, in this deck, it's a party. It's a party after the end, right? So I don't know why this is coming up, but I remember an article or a video or something. It was a divorce ceremony, and I can't recall where I saw this, but it's popping up in my head as this. Okay, so I'm just going to describe it how I see it. It's, instead of going through a bitter divorce, this couple decides to end their marriage the way it was started, and they did a ceremony. They invited their family and friends, and they went in front of somebody, performed a ceremony where they untied the knot, and I maybe even literally physically had a knot that they untied. I don't know, but that's kind of the visual I'm getting. I feel like there's some celebration to be had after the end. There is an ending, but it is a happy ending, not in a fairy tale sense, but the ending brings celebration. So whatever is over and ended, or that is ending, is for the better and will be celebrated, if that makes sense. So celebrate your endings. If we're going for advice, for me to word it as advice, celebrate your endings. Continue to go along with the plan. There's a plan that you have either started or are starting, and it may involve you. I feel like this might be you. I feel like this is you sneaking off in the middle of the night, right? You're gonna feel a little left out on the cold, and your tower You're going to feel like you're having tower moments, okay? It's not going to be easy, but we have balance. And when we feel balanced, we can start over and rebuild. And I feel like that leads us to the new moon. So I look forward to seeing what your new moon readings will be. Those will be posted right around August 1st. Yeah, so if you have any questions, please let me know. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a blessed day.